Hello and welcome to another episode in the saga that is House Grimm. 3 weeks have passed since the funeral, and the family have gathered to start making plans and preparations for the wedding of House Hart and House Manning in a week or so. We now are sitting around the dining table. There's a roaring fire in the hearth. The servants are going in and out, and the family sit together to go about their purpose. Cue players.
Lily.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, y'all can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Lily is currently doing her best not to micromanage the servants and also be a good hostess. She's you'll see her occasionally pull one of the household servants aside, whisper something in their ear, and send them off. She is making polite, pleasant chit-chat with the guests.
Okay, sorry, we're still a week away from the wedding. This is
I'm sorry, we're still a week away from. Okay.
Your planning session.
Yes. I'm sorry. I think I missed that part.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Lily, you can see Lily discussing plans with the servants for things like flower arrangements, where to set certain tables and certain chairs. Obviously making sure the best dishes and tableware and linens are clean and ready for use. Just the going over the common things that they don't specifically need to be planned out in advance. For purposes of making a good impression politically or socially.
Do we know how many guests we're expecting at this point? That's an out of character question to Nathan. I should have specified. Sorry.
It's going to be the two houses and their extended households. Because of the nature of it and the fact that you're always squeezing three houses into one castle, you won't be expecting very many other guests.
Okay, but we think we have enough room for the people coming.
Yeah, I mean, some of the outer servants will obviously be camping somewhere. But yes, one way or another. Say there may be tents in the yard for the extended hangers-on.
Okay.
And
okay, but in character, he suggests we should do something about probably making sure banditry doesn't really flare up during the week of the ceremony. I'd hate to see any of the guests get robbed or worse than that.
That's a good idea. You might want to put maybe some guards out on the road leading up to the hall or something.
Guards on the road, perhaps some of the local ruffians could be rounded up and given something to do besides cause trouble.
Yeah, I was thinking probably some hangings, but yeah, we can do that too.
I mean, well, do we really want the impression of our guests to be that we kill
We're not going to do
bandits?
hangings at the wedding. It's not like I'm suggesting some very avant-garde decorations. And there's the bouquets, and there's this horse thief.
Roger comes in to join the conversation. He's the head of the immediate garrison unit at the castle, local small folk. My lords,
Roger.
A pleasure to see you, as always.
was that talk of hangings?
I mean, potentially.
So, I gather the guests we're expecting have some bad blood between them. I was wondering if you had any special instructions during for the accommodations.
We should probably make sure that the wine doesn't flow too loosely, and make sure that everybody isn't too closely seated together during any particular thing.
Right. So you don't want to serve too much wine at a wedding.
I know that sounds ridiculous. I'm not saying don't serve it at all. I'm just saying don't let the taps exactly flow freely.
He's giving you a queer look. Is this the real Sir Desmond?
Well, you know.
Okay, and if the guests do kick off on each other, what do you want my men to do?
Bets. Take bets.
I was going to say escort them out, but
Yeah, separate
that
them.
seems smarter. Don't listen to me.
Yes, separate them non-violently and escort them back to their separate quarters.
Scratch his head at the non-violent part. Right. Okay.
When I say non-violently, I mean don't club anyone over the head in order to get them to stop fighting. You can just pull them apart from each other, drag them off unwillingly, if need be, but do not cause physical harm to our guests.
Right. Stop them harming each other without harming them.
Yes.
Right. So what do we know about these guests anyway? Looks at the Meister because he obviously knows everything.
What do we know about them? Well, they've lost family member to each other.
Okay. Do we know their names? Do we know how many there are?
Lord Jared, Lady Ella,
I'm confused. So is Lord Jared of one house man, Lady Ella of the other house? Oh, he's gone. Master, are you falling asleep again? Right.
I'm sure the Maesters had a long night issuing out the invitations and all.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And Coran, what do you want the archer lads to be doing?
Well, I would like before the week, now start getting on this, having their uniforms clean. Just keeping everything looking presentable. We're a small house, so I'm not trying to make it look like a mud hole.
Right. Okay. So all spick span and polished. Right, got you. I was wondering if you wanted them to be out, like, trying to keep the bandits suppressed, or manning the roads, or anything like that.
Well, yeah, that would be the other thing too.
And also one biscuit.
And I'll say at least for this upcoming week, keep up drills and keep in discipline. Be on the lookout. We don't know what's going to be coming.
Right, okay. So, are there any known troublemakers we're expecting?
Wait, I'm sorry. Come again?
Are there any known troublemakers we need to keep an eye on?
Document again. Well, we do know that the two sides have lost blood to each other, so I assume if they're coming here, odds are it'll be in good faith, and the obvious thing will be having them disarm it at the entryway, maybe except for the head of each household.
Right.
But yeah,
You want us to disarm them, right? Okay. What if they're knights?
And is there any, was it the 90s?
I don't like that, but yeah, I think we're out of character. I think by rules of like Westeros, you're supposed to leave them armed.
At the very least,
But you know,
yeah, okay. You're knights. Some knights give uppity about that. Okay, so knights can carry their personal arms, and heads of house, but not anyone else.
Right.
Right. Okay. I mean, they'll all have eating knives, of course, and stuff. But okay. Right. So, do we know what these houses are called, or what their shields are, or their words?
There's House Manning. Their banner house of House Stark. The crest is the sea lion, and the other is House Heart.
Hang on. Did you say like a sea lion? Isn't it like got a cat in, like a lion and a fish?
Warren just kind of shrugs.
Well, that's spooky though. I was out of the forest about 3 nights ago, and I found a wild cat that like dying in the forest. There's an omen, I tell you, an omen.
I don't think that's an omen, Roger. To the best of my knowledge, a sea lion is not actually a cat crossed as a fish.
Isn't it? Okay, but I thought that this wild cat had been gored by looked like some kind of stag or deer, or maybe a hart. Nasty business.
Lily will nod her head. Well, I will take your opinion under serious consideration, Roger, when assigning people to quarters and making sure they're far enough away from each other to not cause trouble.
Okay.
I would also like, if possible, for both the bride and groom to have their own escort while they are here. I'm certain They will be coming with their own escort from home, but it would be less than hospitable of us to provide our own impartial forces.
Okay. Maybe one of the knights for each of them.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'll let Sahosta know. All right. We'll call it honor guard. Sounds good. Right. We can handle that. Okay. So, Heart Manning. The Manning is a sea lion. Do we know anything else
Yes.
about them?
Their words are, "The fair and foul we endure."
Okay. Right.
Manning is a courage on land and sea.
So, do we know who's getting married?
Now that's a good question. That's something we should find out.
Lily, I don't know exactly whom is getting married to whom, but I would guess it's the eldest daughter of the Hearts. Sylvie would be marrying possibly the oldest son of Lord Arthur Manning.
Looks like he's working through in his head. Right. Okay.
Oh, Sir Kevin. I believe that's their house heir. House Manning.
So, okay, so I think what other on a checklist of things that are probably going to go. I'm fully expecting. How do I put this? I think everything's going to go fine, but the way noble quarreling families in Westeros are, something will go wrong. It's just a question of mitigating the factors. So what else can we do? What else needs to be done? What else needs to be said?
We have security. We need to make sure the rooms are properly arranged and cleaned and all before they get here.
So, will the ceremony be in the Godswood?
Well, I believe they follow the light of the seven, so no, probably not.
No, we may.
Right. So this is a proper Southern wedding.
Yes. Sir Desmond.
Yes, my dearest nephew. Yes, my dearest niece.
Would it be possible? I know we are going to have a hunt. Would it be possible to Would it be possible to also have the ceremony in the hall?
I assume as much, yeah. As far as the hunt goes, I usually don't partake, so I don't know nothing about that.
She'll nod and look to her brother. What about you?
Could be possible. I think that should be fine. Get people back from the hunt and congregate in the hall for the actual wedding. Sounds pretty good to me, honestly.
Do we have the house colors?
Ooh, their house colours. I don't think I know.
Not sure myself.
Good point.
I know both houses are close to the Frey land-wise. Perhaps I will write to Lady Frey and see if she can confirm the house colors to me before it's too late to have flowers in the appropriate colors.
Likewise, I don't know if we're gonna have to send a try and get some more vintages from the arbor. So I think we have it's important to people might kill themselves issues. Right.
Okay, yeah, I think I've got it. So we keep them separate. Brian can get on a guard, and if they start fighting, we break it up, but we don't harm them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'll go so far as to say, try not to have things get lethal. But if one of your men, if it gets dangerous, it gets dangerous. I'd rather things keep from spinning out of control. Would be the most correct thing about that. Don't have any of your men necessarily lay down their lives if somebody's being particularly,
Right. Do you want everyone offered bread and salt as soon as they come in the door?
Of course, without a doubt.
Right away, not later on. Okay.
So then, as I said, I think that's all of the people might kill each other under our roof issues. Is there any fun things we want to plan for this? I mean, a hunt. I know a lot of men like the hunt. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but troubadours or jugglers we can hire.
Well,
Get some mummers in, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
Troubadours would be good. Jugglers. I thought we might see if
Boris does a good job of that.
I thought we might see if Wise Boris might provide some entertainment as well.
I guess we'll be using the biggest chambers for the bedding.
Yes.
Should we prepare a gift, or is us hosting the wedding gift?
I am working on preparing a gift. Ideally, I would send the newlyweds away with a cask of wine, as well as some local fare, but given we don't have much time to prepare or make it, I thought instead I might provide them with some fabric. Fine cloth from the market.
Well, I like it.
Sounds pretty good.
And so Jasmine, see about securing at least one cask of wine for them.
That should
A
be
good
doable.
vintage.
Yeah, should be doable.
I don't know what their plans are after the wedding, but sending them away with a goat or two seems a little extravagant.
I mean, we're not the poorest.
We are not the poorest, but neither are they.
All right, to be fair.
An extravagant gift like that might be ill received by people of certain temperaments.
I would also say we're already putting them up under our roof, basically footing. Are they footing the bill for any of this, or are we just meant to just grin and bear it for house telling?
We are hosting the wedding for the Starks.
Okay, whoever. That wasn't. Our accounts are the ones that feel the difference. It doesn't matter who it's for. But the question is, are we getting any financial aid from said Starks?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
This frustrates me, but okay.
If we do well, Sir Desmond, we will have something much more valuable than money to foot the bill with.
I understand that, but also it's the Warden of the North, you know. It's just So yeah, I mean, we're already in on this. Once we're in, there's no going back anyway. But okay. So again, is that everything?
The only thing I think needs settled is who will perform the ceremony itself.
Do they have their own priest?
I'm not certain if they're coming with one or not. I'm not certain if the maesters would send their own ranking official to oversee this wedding.
No. Well, we need to talk to if they're under the light of the seven. We need to talk to was it a septum?
Septum, yes.
Get him
Or-
to.
I assume our dear maester could perform the ceremony himself if need be, but
Well, that's not. I mean, no offense to my brother, but that's not what they do. This is a religious function.
quite so.
If they follow the old gods, they can just swear the oaths before the weirwood tree.
But they
That's
do
what
not.
they should do.
Follow the seven.
That would make everything a lot easier, and I wish we could just lean on them about that. Be like, so have you heard about our Lord and Saviors, the old gods?
Lily shakes her head.
But no, if they follow the seven, they need a proper septum, but they might have their own.
We'll just when they arrive, we'll just keep going on about how the old gods are now back in vogue and totally the hip thing. Should totally do it.
Sir Tesman, please, this is a wedding, not a conversion ceremony.
I'm not trying to get them to convert. I'm just trying to save us some money.
If they happen to convert, well, all the better.
Should they ask questions, politely answer them. Otherwise, we don't need to worry about people clashing over religion as well as family tensions.
No, of course. Obviously, I'm not gonna look. You know what I follow, and you know what I believe. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be striking up a Riverside revival here.
I have every faith in you, Sir Desmond, but sometimes you make me feel the need to say the things I'm thinking in my head out loud.
Again, it's not a religious difference. I'm just trying to figure out a way that we can. We're going to have to make sure that we don't go bankrupt at the end of all this.
So, if someone asks me for the lord of this house while they're here, what do I say?
Huh. Well, I will say technically, what have you been saying up until now?
Well, I've not had prominent guests to ask me that question till now.
Slow turns over to Lily.
Lily turns to Corin. Have you settled this matter with Rylan yet?
I've not had the chance to talk to our brother about it yet, no.
Well, I think he should be here soon. I think he's doing something. Yeah, he should be here soon, so we can have that matter settled one way or the other.
All right. um, Lily takes a few deep breaths. The answer to that question, either I or one of the servants will bring to you in a message, Roger, if you are not present when the matter is put to bed.
Right. Okay. Well, just as long as I know before the wedding happens, because someone's bound to ask at some point.
In the worst case scenario, if the matter is not settled before the wedding, tell them the Lord shall properly receive them at a reception the day before the ceremony.
Right. Okay.
And
Any instructions for little Maggie during the wedding? Want me to keep her out of the way, or is she allowed to mingle?
little Maggie. I'm not aware of any other young children who will be attending. So I think it is best that little Maggie be allowed to observe. And if she has questions about the ceremony or anything going on, either myself or whomever be appointed for answer them. Roger.
Lady?
While the ceremony is happening, I would like the patrols to keep a particular eye out for anyone lingering around the keep who does not normally come and go.
He's thinking it through in his head. Okay, yeah. But there'll be lots of people who aren't normally here.
As is that comedic timing striking through the door. Does that include me?
It does not include you, dear brother. I speak of the small folk.
Oh, nephew. We're just planning the wedding. You know,
Yes.
those things that always go off without a hitch in all of Westeros.
Yes. Well.
I don't suppose you have any information about our guests, the esteemed houses of Manning and Hart?
You'll see him contemplate for a moment. No, I can't say that I've ever heard of them. But These are Northerners, remember. They tend to rather contemplate his next words. They hold to honor. So I think that as long as no one is allowed to directly interfere, they will at least, or should at least, hold to the vows that they have made, or else, well, it is not best that they should deal with each other once it is clear. It is not best when the Northerners deal with one another when it is clear that one of them is in fact dishonorable. They are their own weapons in this instance. If one of them breaks their oaths or is in fact to incur the wrath of the others, then we need do nothing. We simply need to make it public, and then it will become, and then whatever support they have will simply wash away.
Good advice, brother. Now, Roger has posed a question. Who, if anyone asks to see the Lord, shall he direct them to?
Yes, I have been giving some content. I've been giving some thought to that, having been counseled by both of our uncles on the matter. I'm sorry, but there's like some really weird background noise. It's like scratching and like really weird mic noises, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's rather disconcerting. It was coming from you, Nathan, because when you muted yourself, it got better. So, right. He'll look around and he'll say, "Right, I shall be brief in this matter, as I have no wish to verbosely or grandiosely state the point. Were I to not accept the position that is mine given by birthright in the laws of the Seven Kingdoms, then it would raise many questions as to why it is that there would be insuitability in this matter. Many points that would be raised, many arguments that would be made, and it would open a grand kettle of fish that I have no great wish to open." He will nod his head as if he's come to his decision, and he'll say, "As I prayed, I came to a sudden yet stark realization that if I wished to stay here, I could not stay here under the circumstances of not claiming what is mine by due birthright, because if I were to do so, then it would forever be asked why I did not. Yes, I left this place, but that does not strip me of my rights. So, yes, stark realizations." Video games. So he will look around and he will say, "I will claim father's chair, and if I should pass from this world before a son or a daughter is born to me, then via the laws of the Seven Kingdoms they will pass to my brother. This is simple. This is the law, and this is what must occur." Does anyone object?
No. Since that is settled, I'm glad that is finally settled. And get back to, I don't know, squabbling with other noble houses and doing moronic things that all nobles do.
Lily will
Okay,
look to her.
Nathan, just as kind of a. Oh, sorry, continue.
Lily will look to her younger brother. Corin, do you have any objections to this?
Did I just hear somebody shout, "What a lovely day"?
Yeah, it was in the background of mine.
Oh, you're watching Mad Max? If so, it makes sense.
No, someone's playing The Witcher.
Okay, but
yeah.
hey, Nathan, if you exist, just to kind of seal the moment. I assume the tiger's just AFK. He's going to stride up and he's going to sit on the big chair proper.
Sorry,
there's
I had
one.
to-
Yeah, I'm waiting for Tiger to respond, but yeah, okay.
I'll wait till he responds.
What was said? Because I had to step away.
Oh, basically, he's claiming his birthright because technically speaking, it's legal, and he's legal, and it would raise too many questions about both him and the family if he didn't, and it would open us up to like a whole kettle of fish that we didn't want. And he said that he will happily name you his heir until a child, until if a child is born to him.
That is fine by me, brother. I'm glad we have the matter put to bed, as it were.
And there's a nod, and he will then do as he said. He will go and sit in the big chair because it actually. I'm not going to lie. The chair actually looks pretty comfortable. um,
Would you
Oh,
expect made out of
coincidentally,
1,000 weapons?
coincidentally, do I know Roger? Like, is he an old hat, or do I not know Roger? Whenever Nathan exists.
Yeah,
Oh, changing it to the chair.
yes, you knew him a bit, but you were never that close. He's local small folk, who ended up as
Okay.
Garrison. Very good, my lord.
Now then, he will say as he settles himself and kind of pents his fingers together. What is it that you've already decided as it comes to the matter of this wedding, sister? You have much more taste for the theatrical and the verbose, I assume, than I do.
So far, what I have decided, what has been discussed, both the ceremony and the feast will most likely occur in the main hall. Because our guests follow the seven, and we do not have a chapel. I have instructed the servants to have the finest table settings and linens cleaned and ready for the event. Once the colors of the houses are confirmed, the main hall and other parts of the keep will be decorated with flowers and linens in the appropriate colors. We are going to do our level best to keep the levels of animosity low by giving each family quarters in different parts of the keep. Both the bride and groom, who we assume will be coming with their own guard, shall have their own honor guard while they are here. At least one of the nights for each to help ensure that no harm comes to either of them.
You'll see him sit back in his chair as his eyes half close. Clearly he's thinking, and he'll say, will the kitchen staff be quite able to handle this many people, or will we have to take in extra hands temporarily from the village?
I don't dare insult Kathleen's abilities as a cook by simply hiring more help for her. However, I had thought to have her conscript her fellows in the inns and taverns, those known to her from her days cooking food in one.
He's going to look to a servant at this point because I assume we have at least a smattering of them in the room, and he's going to say, "Can you bring this Kathleen person to me, please?" Thank you.
Yep, thank you, my lord.
On a side note, he'll say, I'm clearly getting old. Standing vigil outside in the rain. I used to be able to do that standing on my head. Now I have aches and pains in every muscle that has the ability to flex.
It's called Desmond motions his leg. He usually kind of keeps propped towards the fireplace. It goes downhill from there. Just
Dear brother, you are not so old. I am also already planning a brief reception the day before the wedding for our guests.
There's a nod.
There will be a meal, some wine, and perhaps some entertainment as well.
So Desmond, as I have not done so in many years, how is the hunting around here?
yeah, I don't do it either.
I would have assumed you
It's
wanted.
usually-
Okay.
No, I really don't. That's something I find to be the posturing of other nobles. I don't really care.
Well, I'm not talking about hunting just for the purposes of sport. I'm talking about hunting so that, we may be able to offer them boar and venison.
Yeah, I get that, but that's still for the sport of it. We have perfectly good mutton and beef, so I don't do it. But I'm not saying we're not going to. I'm saying I don't, as sort of a thing. We can go hunting. I don't do it.
Roger would chip in.
Lily massages her temples.
There are boar in the forest, my lord, and a wildcat, the deer.
Good.
I was just saying earlier, I found a wildcat gored by a hart or deer, clearly an omen. Omen, I tell you.
Actually, he'll stop at that. Like, he kind of stops and he quirks his head to the side. Because this character does actually believe in omens. And he'll say, a wildcat, you say?
Wildcat
Interesting.
been gored by antlers and left.
Was it dead when you found it?
Near enough.
Hmm.
Do we have any Lannister guests coming?
Not that I'm aware of. I think my husband's dear cousin would have informed me of such.
What about? Sorry, he's clearly more interested in the cat and the deer. It's kind of sparked his interest, and he says,
Yeah, same.
How large was the cat?
Oh. Fully grown adult, my lord, I think.
That must mean we must have a buck of some considerable size in order to gore it to death. Interesting.
Wait a second. No, wasn't there a knight here who bore a shield with the Lannister lion and the Frey twins thing, whatever they call that,
Yes.
on their shield?
Sir Cleos Frey.
Yeah. Yeah, not to be a superstitious old crone, but I'll be a superstitious old crone. I don't like that.
The sigil of
That is
House
an omen.
Baratheon is the sigil of House Baratheon is the stag. The sigil of House Lannister is the lion.
Yes, but so is House Hart, one of our guests. I assume that a Baratheon isn't going to die on our. Look, the odds of a Baratheon being killed by a Lannister from here to a decade from now are very unlikely. So, but no, my concern is more of the immediate people who are coming to our land, and I'm concerned about that.
House Hart, you say? Nathan, do any of the other houses, and I'll happily roll, ferocious OCC pounding on wood. Do any of the other houses that are coming have a sigil that would be indicative of a wild cat?
Ask the players. The information's out there.
I was going to say I was going to roll it, but do any of the other houses have a sigil that is in any way indicative of a wild cat?
From what
And
I am
they-
expecting, no. The uh, the two houses that are being matched, House Hart has a sigil of a heart, and House Manning has a sigil of a sea lion.
Okay. And as someone, the head cook enters. My lord.
Yes. On a side note, he's going to be drinking. He's going to be very slowly sipping watered wine because I'm going to assume it's probably early in the afternoon.
Okay.
He will say, "You are the chef, yes?"
I have that honor, my lord.
I see. He'll lean back in his chair, and he'll say, "You know, I assume, of our preparations for the incoming festivities."
I do, my lord. It's all well in hand.
Good, good. I have two requests for you. Where would the nearest proper town be?
Did you have a small town in lands or not?
I think, yeah, no, oh yes, we did, didn't we?
But it's a port which would make count as. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not far.
Good. He will say, for a start, I would like you to employ only people in the kitchens whom you know and whom you trust via either their reputation or knowing them personally. Due to the animosity between these two groups, I don't want ne'er-do-wells sneaking into my kitchen. I assume you understand.
Very good. Can I tell some of the guards to help out and make themselves useful?
By all means. At which point you'll see him detach. He'll detach a a bag from his belt. He'll kind of flick it up into the air with one hand before he'll casually toss it down to her.
Okay, you'll catch it. Okay. Ooh, looks surprised. Yes.
In that, because I actually rolled his current for his month's finances. There's about 30 gold dragons in that.
That's a lot. Okay. Yes.
He will look down and he will say, "I want this to go towards you finding the finest ingredients and spices you can buy. I want to leave a good impression on our guests."
Very good. Yeah, do you want me to spend all of this, my lord?
I beg your pardon?
You want me to spend all of this, my lord?
Yes.
Very good.
I thank you for your time.
Lord, my lady. And she heads off.
Do we know what road the intended are going to take to get here? No?
I do not have that knowledge, my lord.
I mean, one can assume the most direct routes between here and there.
If assume they go a sensible way, there'd be a north road that passes through the twins.
Oh, yeah?
That-
That's why he's never owned me there. That's why when I play video games, I sit there and say, "Just stand on my chest and talk like this." And then he'll circle around for a while, and then he'll get mad.
So, what about this, dear nephew?
Well, it's funny. It's not as much.
So I had to go and open the door for someone. Oh dear.
I'm assuming you want those roads patrolled.
I was going to say, yes, but not only that. On the day they're due to arrive, he'll look down at his uncle and he'll say, take about 10 of the household guards and just form a little, shall we say, a welcoming party on the road.
Oh yeah, I was already. This was something discussed also before you had arrived. This whole week, the guards are going to have their uniforms cleaned and made new and all that, so they're presentable. On top of that, we're going to try and do a crackdown on the local, less than desirable community. We intend to levy pretty heavy sentences on anybody we catch. We're not inventing crime. We're just making sure that, we catch a horse thief, we hang a horse thief, just that sort of thing.
I leave that in your capable hands.
Capable hands, sure. But as I said, that's already kind of hopefully going to be enough because brings me to that point. We'll have to discuss that in the future. But after things settle down, I'd like to try and crack down on that in our lands.
Is banditry an issue?
It has been for a while. I don't think it's at a point that isn't controllable, but I do think it's at a point that is. We're starting to get a reputation, I think. So.
Let's see. There's a single nod of the head. So, is that all the preparation that requires our attention?
There is a small matter of the gift, my lord. I had thought to send the newlyweds away with a sampling of our finest fabrics as well as at least one cask of our best wine. Is that acceptable to you, or would you perhaps like something a bit more extravagant?
He half closes his eyes, as if he's genuinely thinking. I leave this in your capable hands, sister.
Very well, my lord. In that case, the only other thing I would have to say to you now is I advise you take the opportunity to speak with our guests, get to know them, and see if you may find a partner among them who you find suitable.
Definitely keep an eye out. But I will say we're going to have to, since the issue of succession is settled. Let's say when we should also discuss this with the Tullys when my lord here says with a smile, like it's nice to say that. When my lord here goes to bend the knee to House Tully, we can discuss that with them. Anybody that they would like to make arrangements, we can use their inroads too.
Yes. Nathan, how far is River Run from here?
A few days. You can certainly get there and back in a week.
I was going to say, because in that case, if you're okay, we'll just do the wonderful thing called GM hand wavy him, where he is, after he's done here, going to dash off to River Run to bend the knee officially and then dash back.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, if you're going to do that, do you want anybody else coming with you?
He'll contemplate that for a moment before he'll say, it might not be wise to uproot everyone right when there are preparations to be made.
But I would certainly like to be there at your the day that you're given. You know, that would make me happy.
As you say, in that case, we'll travel together. We realistically should not require anyone more.
I will send a letter along with you then, brother.
As you wish. He starts to contemplate and he says, has a raven been sent to Kathleen Tully at I can speak today, at Winterfell in order to inform her of I take it that a letter has been sent in order to inform her of our official acceptance of her request and what have you.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Let me think. No, I believe that that's everything that I can possibly think of.
I will. In that case, dear brother, I will take my leave. I have letters to send. I will also need to inform my dear father-in-law of your lordship.
Indeed. He stands up. He stands up at this point. He looks down and he says, "Uncle, I will need to assemble a few accoutrements. Shall we say that we shall ride out in about an hour?"
Yeah, that seems acceptable to me.
Wonderful. There'll be the obligatory to one of the servants to have our horses ready.
Okay, and if everyone's happy, we can leave it there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys, for playing. Thank you all for watching another episode of the saga of House Grimm, wedding preparations.